welcome to Make It Monday. I hope that you are having a lovely day and are as excited as I am to get this little crafty show on the road. So, why Make It Monday? Well, really simple, really. One is it sounds really good, make it Monday. And two, Monday is the day that I tend to take off from all my ridiculous activities and running around my kids and doing everything that I do. It's the day that I chill. It's the day that I catch up on some TV, I read some books, and inevitably I make something. So I tend to make things either just for me, or I try out new experiments and I just chill. I give myself a break and I have a really good time doing it. I have had a lot of people ask me, can you show me how to make stuff? And my answer is always, yes, sir. Of course I can, because you see, people are either doers or they're buyers. And the doers or makers, no matter how gorgeous your things are most likely going to look at it and think, hey, I really want to make that. Or no matter how talented they are, if you're a buyer, then you're probably just going to think, I am way too busy for that. I am actually going to buy it. So I have no problems in sharing what I do. In fact, it's how I actually got started, and how my little arbitrary business got started was because of people who were happy to get online, like I'm doing, and teach someone else how to make something. So I have lots and lots of really fun favorite projects that I love to make, and I'm going to take you through these as we go on and we do more Make It Mondays. Now, I haven't actually decided if it's going to be every Monday. I'm not sure if I have that many craft sessions in me, or whether or not we'll just do it every few Mondays. So today we are going to learn how to make a knotted fabric wreath. The beauty of the knotted fabric wreath, that is quite hard to say when you try to do it quickly, is there is no sewing, no stapling, no nailing, no stitching, nothing that involves any sort of fastening instrument other than your fingers. So we are literally just going to take a wire ring and some strips of fabric, which we haven't cut out yet, and we are going to tie them onto a wire ring. Now, if you don't have a wire ring and you can't get down to your local craft store, please don't panic. Just use what you have at home. Wire coat hangers, brilliant. All you have to do is give them a good stretch out. Yeah, okay, you might have to shape them, but these actually, my husband is going to kill me. He is like the washerwoman in our house, and he loves these suckers. He doesn't know that I've actually stolen this from his cupboard. All you have to do is get it into a circular shape, and then when you start putting on your strips of fabric, you're going to create a beautiful circle, and it already has a little hanger, but you can cut that off or tuck that in if you don't want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out our strips. You don't want to do these using one of these, because it is going to take you a really, really long time. So what I suggest you get or buy or borrow, if you don't have one already, is one of these. A little rotary board, because you're going to need to cut out about 160 to 180 strips of fabric. Now, the best size that I've worked out through the years is 5 inches long by 1 inch wide. That is going to give you a perfect size for knotting, and it's not going to hurt your hands too much either. In terms of fabric, you want to use something that's really nice and soft, because hard fabric or thick fabric is really hard to use, but you can use anything, yeah? You can use a tablecloth, an old sheet, a dress. Just make sure you ask somebody if it's theirs that they don't mind if you cut it up. Like, you might need to go to your grandma because she's just given you her prized tablecloth, but you really don't have any use for it and you kind of want to cut it up because it will make a really good wreath. Just ask her, because that might upset her. So otherwise, you can take whatever you want, any sort of fabric, any sort of material. I'm actually going to put in some of this gorgeous, there goes my coat hanger, this gorgeous French lace. My hubby bought this at Lily Pond in Geelong, and I'm going to use a little bit, not a lot, a little bit of this just for some accent. And then I'm going to decide what ribbons I'm going to use, because you actually do need 2 strips of ribbons to make the bow and the hanger. So I'm going to just chuff off, and I'm going to cut out this fabric because it's going to take me a while, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how it's done. of fabric. You want to see? There we go. There's one, there's two. Because it does take a really long time to do that, what I try and do is actually fold over my pieces of fabric and then try and cut multiples at once. I absolutely 100% recommend that you get your rotary blade sharpened, because this one is as dull as they come, and I'm pretty certain I just gave myself tennis elbow trying to get through all that material. Anyway, so what you want to try and do is, most material has a stretch in it. So you'll tend to find that it has a stretch one way or it has a stretch another way. You really want to try and actually cut it so your stretch is down that way. This one's not. It doesn't make a massive difference. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier. This one does have a little bit of stretch in it, so it just makes it a little bit easier to tie, but it's not the end of the world. Don't think you have to throw it out and start again, because you don't. I'm going to go with a really, really simple design. I'm going to use two different fabrics. I've gone with a really pale shade. I am a massive French provincial fan, and the French provinces are very soft and very gentle and very beautiful. And one of the things that I love about this particular craft is it is straight out of the French playbook of use whatever you got, make the most of everything. It doesn't matter if it's hemmed. In fact, if you want to do this as a hemmed wreath, it's probably not the craft for you, because that's going to take you forever. This is all about raw edges, all about let's get it done, all about making it shabby chic and absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to move my phone now, because I actually want to show you how you can go about getting started and tying all the fabric. All right, so here we are. I have repositioned the camera and I'm about to show you how to start tying. It's kind of weird, really, isn't it? Because you're just looking at a body talking and there's no head, but I'm here. How are you? I hope you're having good fun. Rightio, so let's get started. I'm doing, as I said, a really simple 1-2-1-2-1-2 design, where I'm literally just going to alternate with my pieces of fabric. If you have a fabric that has a one-sided design, then you want to start with that by putting it right side, that's the fabric side, right side down, and actually just tying it. So how we tie, we put it underneath our ring. We're going to bring up the edges together, and we are just going to tie a very simple knot and pull. Ta-da! Yay! It'll look like a little piece of bow spaghetti once it's on. And you want to actually make sure that's a little bit tight. Yeah, you don't want it kind of moving around a lot, because that then can spoil the look of it. You get your next piece, you put it underneath your ring, and you just tie a knot. Like so. Give it a good tie and push them together. You really do want that tension to be a little bit tight, because you really want to bunch as much fabric on here as you can. I think it's going to look really good. It means that the fabric doesn't move as much. It's not kind of going to, one end's not going to start tilting up and tilting the other way. It's going to stay as flat as you want it to sit. So I am going to put a couple more of these on, and then I'm going to fast forward myself and get to the very end, because literally this is all we're doing. We are just tying, alternating with the fabric. Right, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna see you back here soon. Bye. Rightio, so we have very nearly finished our wreath. Do you see that I've only got this much to go? Or have I? Do you remember when I told you that you actually have to kind of really keep those lengths tight? So if you actually use your muscles and pull, you'll notice that you are going to have a lot more room. Be tough with it. It's not going to break, obviously. Oh, thank you, darling. My daughter just bought me a Kit Kat and eaten half of it. God bless you, sweetheart. All right, so you're going to end up, as you can see, that you actually do have a lot more to go. You really want to, before you finish, make sure you get that fabric around, because you want it to be nice and tight. Otherwise, the little individual lengths of fabric actually start to twist, and then you'll lose that lovely shape. When you have a look at your wreath, if you can have a look, you want the knots, the knots to be up, to be facing you. You want everything to be one way. If you turn it around, you'll notice that it's very smooth on the back. So you want everything to face, you want all those little strips to face the same way. Smooth on the back, and a little bit knotty on the front. Hi! So I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to show you how to put on the finishing touches. See ya! Okay, so we have compressed our strips of fabric as much as we can. We really want to get them as tight as possible. So it might mean that you put everything on, you close the gaps, and then you pull it again and try and get as crammed in together, because you really want that gorgeous, lovely, full feeling. So I've used about 210 pieces of fabric, so well beyond my 180. I must be getting so much stronger that I can push it that far together. Wow. All right, so with our gap, we're going to put our ribbon. I happen to like using a length of ribbon that roughly gives me about a 20 centimeter drop, maybe a little less. You can totally do whatever you want. There's no rules. So we're going to, if you can see me do this, we're going to thread that underneath the metal ring, just in that gap. We're going to pull it up so you have your ends together, and you're going to do a very simple slip knot where you literally just wrap it around your fingers and then pull the ends through the hole. And then you are going to give that a really good tight pull so it's nice and tight and it's not going anywhere. You might even want to trim those ends off because you don't want them sticking out, but we are going to hide them in the fabric. Okay, so we're going to flip that over, and then you're left with, and I'm doing it facing you, but you'll do it facing you. Kind of didn't make sense, did it? You'll do this facing you. I'm doing it in the reverse. So there you go. There you have your ribbon on. Now you may need to adjust. Sometimes what tends to happen is when you're actually putting that ribbon on, your pieces of fabric start to twirl around. So you just want to fix that. So now we're going to put the ribbon on. So I am going to get one of my little helpers to actually come over here. Hello, say hello.
Hi.
Good, now back off. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to get one of them, Lucy, to point the camera at the wreath, and I'm going to show you how we are going to put on that bow. So what we're going to do is you pick up, this is where you've got your length of ribbon. We're going to get another length of ribbon, and we're going to tie it around both, okay? So you want to capture the whole loop. You're just going to tie a basic knot. We're actually just tying a bow here, but you want to tie a knot first. Nice and tight, and then push that down as far as you can toward the original knot. Make sure that is nice and tight. And then we're going to get our two loops, one there and one there. And we're just tying a really, really basic bow. Now you might be someone that likes a little bow, and so you only want small little loops, and then you may want a long tail, or you might want a droopy bow, or you might want a longer bow. I'm kind of going to do a bit of a half and half here. I'm going to have sort of somewhat of a bit of a droopy bow, and then I'm going to leave some little tails hanging down. So you'll also notice that you've got your tiny little tail in there, which is from your loop. You're just going to hide that in the fabric. That's all you're going to do. So there's nothing hard about that. Okay, so then what you can do is you can fluff it, you can straighten it, you can pull some pieces of fabric through, so you've got a little bit of accent. Now I also told you that I'm going to put some lace through it, and I am. As I said, there's about 210 of these. I'm actually going to put lace about every 20 or so. I don't want to use up too much of that lace because it is beautiful vintage lace from France, but I really want it to be a part of this beautiful wreath. So I'm going to cut probably roughly about 4 inches, not 5. Lace is actually a little bit more stretchy. It's also a bit more fragile. So what you don't want is you don't want to waste the lace by tying it up and then finding the tails are too long. So we're just going to use a strip to measure by. So this is our 5" by 1" strip. And then I'm just going to take it up and make it about 4 inches, and we're going to cut it like so. So I'm going to cut about 10 of these. I won't do it now, I won't show you, I'll just cut a couple. Okay, and then I'm going to show you, you literally just count. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I might start with the 10 and then I'll go every 20 from there. So I am going to feed that through the strips of fabric, bring it over the top like that, and then I'm going to tie it. I actually just want this to be a little bit of lace, so I don't want it to be actually as long, and I want it to sit over the top. So there we go. That's just going to sit over the top like that, which is really pretty. And then I'm going to count 20 and I'm going to keep doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You guys don't need to sit here and watch me do that one. You might want to keep going with your project, or perhaps go and make yourself a cup of tea. And then when you come back, I'm going to show you the finished product. So we have finished, and I'm going to reveal the finished product. Da, 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 da. Here it is. There's me in the middle. Hi. I'm going to bring it closer so you can see those really pretty little slithers of lace that we have just popped in there for accent. Yes, I know I probably could have ironed my ribbon, but the beauty of this is that you just take it out of the drawer, people. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be, pinpoint on having everything look perfect. That's not what this is about. This is about having some fun with stuff that you actually have at home, regardless if it's all crumpled. You want that aged look if that's what you're going for. That's what I go for. So I make sure that my pieces are authentic as possible. So all that's left for me to do now is go and hang it on my door. And then I am going to have to clean up this massive mess that I have made. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I've absolutely enjoyed bringing this to you. I've learned a lot. I can't wait to the next one. I haven't decided what that is, but I am more than happy for you guys to leave me a comment and make some suggestions. You've seen some of the stuff I've done. Perhaps there's something that I've tackled, months ago, weeks ago, or even years ago that you saw me do that you'd like to know how to do as well. Please, by all means, drop me a line. Tell me if you liked it. I'm going to be putting some kits together so you can buy everything that you need to produce something. I'm going to be using fairly traditional, standard French provincial colors. If you do have something specific that you'd like, if you'd like a teal blue and a calico, I do use a lot of material that I have on hand anyway. So let me know that too, because you never know, I might be able to put something together for you. Thank you. I cannot wait until next time. We'll see you soon. Hey girls, want to make $5?